When Jody asked for commencement speakers, I tried really hard not to volunteer. Not out of a fear of public speaking, of course. I tried not to volunteer because I was trying to heed the advice we got on day one, to use the Bridge Builders experience to step outside my comfort zone. For us extroverts and teacher pleasers in the room, where are you, Jen Angelo? I know you. Yeah, there we go, Chelsea, yeah. I know you were out there, so that meant sometimes taking a back seat, pinching yourself, biting your tongue, whatever you had to do, and creating space for others to lend their voice to the conversation. Believe me, I tried really hard. It might not have seemed that way, and sometimes I succeeded, sometimes not. But like most goals, even when you give it all your effort, some things just aren't perfect. So when I saw another email from Jody, still looking for volunteers, I couldn't resist the urge to share with you all my reflection of the last 9 months. Because while I did learn a lot more in those moments of taking a back seat, the moments when I sat back and truly listened to each one of you without thinking about what I was going to say next, it doesn't take away from the even greater thing we need to do as leaders: express gratitude. And there's a lot to be thankful for. Sadly, and not surprisingly though, we were given a time limit. I think I'm going to be a little closer to Jody's time here. I timed myself. I'm not going to hit. I hope there's no bell. No sign this time, okay. So to sum up what I have to be grateful for, I have 3 gratitudes to share with you. My first, thank you for giving me grace. Grace to give my worst speaking experience ever, not this one I hope, but the one in November. I don't think I've ever been so vulnerable in a room full of people in my life. And really at that time, no one outside this group, or I should say everyone outside of this group would have thought of us as strangers. But I knew you were all different. I don't know if I shared this with many of you, but I had a backup plan, a chicken out plan, an entirely different vision stand, prepared and ready to go, and I practiced them both and figured I would see where the day took us. If it weren't for the environment you all created, I don't know if I would have ever shared my story. I'm not sure how I would have gotten through 9 months and just kind of slid that under the rug and didn't share it and avoided the topic, but that was kind of my plan. But I wasn't ready to share. Yet, for some reason, you all seemed like the right people. And of the many lessons I learned that day, I can't help but remind myself of the most important one. It's okay to not be perfect. So often, we as leaders feel we must have it completely right before we can move forward. We also like to suppress our own needs to support others first. And we are used to helping others, yet don't make it easy to receive help from others. Thank you for letting me let you help me that day. I didn't print it on both sides like that, but I was so smart to do so. Sharing with you all that really human side of me seemed embarrassing, and the little girl inside suffering from imposter syndrome, thank you for teaching me that phrase. I didn't know I was the only one pretending to be a grown-up until day one. She was really uneasy with the idea that we can be successful and messy humans all at the same time. Thank you for your grace and the strength you gave me that day. Number 2, thank you for showing me that what real leadership looks like in action. I have never seen a group of 60 plus, super busy, super stressed, overcommitted individuals be successfully locked in rooms for an entire day each month and just soak it all in. Yeah, we looked at our phones sometimes, but you guys were really there. But leaders show up. And let's be honest, I am sure there were times we have been internally screaming during some of those sessions and struggling over the mess that's in our inbox and worrying about the out of office we didn't put on that day, or struggling to connect with what was happening with the experience. But all along, I felt 100% commitment from each and every one of you, always. Thank you for showing me that there were real life, actual people who do more than care. You own it. Thank you for inspiring me. And lastly, number 3, thank you for being different. You're a bunch of rebels. When we were told we were quiet, we were really upset about that. So we protested by never shutting up, including when we just tried to take a picture. When it was not so subtly mentioned, we seldom meet deadlines. We just kept on procrastinating. When we were given the chance to submit electronic feedback, we said, screw it. And when we were given the Acres Challenge, some started and didn't finish, and many said, nope, not even gonna try. Clearly, we are not aiming to be the best bridge builders class ever. I think our aim is to be the best version of ourselves. Be you, be different. So I say our rebellion is not for a lack of care. It is not because we are slackers. It is not for a lack of commitment to the process. Rather, I think CLC Group, you found a group of professionals in Cleveland who are demonstrating why each and every single one of us is a leader. We were the right class at the right time, and we are challenging the status quo. Okay, sure, some of those things, the procrastination, was that, and some of it was simply ramifications of all of us hustling, trying to juggle all of our competing priorities, all, mind you, while figuring out how a pandemic has changed us, and getting dumped on during the Great Resignation, adding more to our type A overachieving plates. It's fun, we're fine, everything's fine, we're doing just fine. But mostly, our special class spirit, as Jody said it, and she knows it, we have something special. We are different. And haven't we learned by now? Different is good. So thank you, rebels, change makers, and leaders who make no excuses but give your honest, authentic selves. Even if that means not completing an assignment on time, this is the Bridge Builders class you got in 2022. So in closing, I leave you with this, the Acres Challenge. I don't know if David's here, but David, if you are watching this, don't be mad at us. Be proud of us. I think we all completed the challenge. Maybe not as written, not as told, we broke the rules, but we got to know each other. And I think that's the point and the true spirit of the challenge. Now, I'm not saying this, I promise, to get a dinner, although that would be fun to go to dinner with all of you. But I am saying this as a person who signed up for this experience and was all about it. I promised my table on day one, I'm gonna do it, I'm totally gonna do it. And in the end, I learned something incredibly valuable. I am a human. About halfway through, I had to take a step back and realize I have limits, and I can't do it all. That is a lesson we all need to remember. So while I didn't finish the Acres Challenge, and I guess no one else did either, I don't think we failed. In fact, we got to know ourselves as leaders, despite the rules and the challenge laid before us. And when we connect, it feels real. It's authentic. It's with purpose, to learn from each other, and it's fun. We haven't finished the Acres Challenge because we're just beginning. Cheers.